And so let's go back to this Fortune 100 company that you're talking about, you work for now. Outside of what you're doing for them as a real estate attorney, I mentioned in the intro, you're doing a lot of other things, man. Let's dig into that. Let's dig into the involvement on the social impact side, whether it's in your legal department or within the corporate realm of your employer.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, the during the day, my job primarily is, representing this company on their real estate portfolio, helping them close transactions, right? But in recent years, I've also been able to combine sort of my upbringing, my perspective as a young black kid from the north side of Milwaukee, with these transactional skills that I've acquired to try to impact change, right? And so obviously, when George Floyd was murdered, a lot of companies realized, like, well, what is the role of the private sector in impacting change and trying to right some of these wrongs, right? Like some of the things that are just not right with our society. And one of those things, obviously, is the racial wealth gap and access to capital. And so, through my involvement with some of these committees at work, I'm actively in the room advocating on behalf of the communities that I come from and trying to figure out how can we, in a sustainable, actionable, practical, smart way, allocate capital to folks that have been historically undercapitalized, right? And so, or underrepresented. And so, I take great pride in sort of the role that I do play. My name will never be on any of the press releases, but it is very cool when I see we have made, a $5 million commitment to a local bank that's going to deploy capital to Black and brown businesses, right? Like the small role that I have played in that happening uh, just makes my job even more worthwhile, to be honest.
Awesome, man. Thank you for sharing so much. And shout out to your employer for their commitment to closing that racial equity gap, particularly within the Midwestern region, specifically in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And it's amazing that they have a product of North Milwaukee in the building at the table, helping with making these decisions. I think that's very vital in creating change. You got to have someone from the community at the table that is giving their perspective as well. So shout out to them, man. I really appreciate what they're doing. I wish them nothing but the best of luck going forward, as well as you and the rest of your team. So let's talk about within the community. Are you involved in anything associated with the bar association or any of the Milwaukee nonprofits? Share with us what you're involved in.
I would say right now the main thing that I'm involved in is I sit on the board of a nonprofit called the Neighborhood House of Milwaukee. And the easiest way to describe it is that it's a community center in one of the most challenged neighborhoods in Milwaukee. Like I mentioned, some of the outcomes, whether it's the health disparities or the wealth gap or just access to quality education or quality childcare, right? These are all things that this community is struggling with it at an even greater rate than some of the other parts of Milwaukee. And so this community center really, if I could be very simple, it's a safe space for people. It's a space for you to take your kids or for even for you to go in and there's programming centered around just inspiring discovery and inspiring an environment for learning. So you can send your kid there after school and know that they're going to be with folks that care about them and want them to succeed and want them to go on to better their situation. And so I'm very judicious in what boards I sit on, where I lend my time, and things like that. But this one, the mission, there was just definite alignment with sort of what I care about. And although I didn't grow up in that specific community, it's a lot of parallels to how I grew up, right? And so because of that, that's kind of where I try to dedicate and spend my time right now.
Awesome, man. Let's clap it up for Larry. Let's clap it up for Larry. Awesome, man. Awesome. And what was that? What was that nonprofit called again?
It's called the Neighborhood House of Milwaukee.
Neighborhood
If any
House
of
of
your listeners
Milwaukee.
want to donate, we are definitely their time or their capital. We are definitely receptive to that.
You sound like a board member of a nonprofit organization. Yes, please, if you have the time or the financial capacity, donate one or the other to Neighborhood House of Milwaukee.